are back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. Alright, so yesterday I said I'd read out a few emails I received from a listener of the podcast. I managed to dig them up, and he said I could fucking speak about it in these emails, so I guess that's not a conflict of interest, and I'm not going to say his name, but it's definitely a he. It's 100% a he. And also, he may have sent in an email in the last day saying something to me, but my emails are blocked at the moment because my storage is full. So I need to fucking clear some shit out, and I'll start receiving fucking emails again. But I think we'll just fucking investigate what's going on here. And in no way am I fucking making fun of this. But we'll see if we can't fucking figure some things out. Anyway, I forget what fucking podcast he was replying to, but I did something. I must have done a podcast about telepathy or something. Anyway, here's the fucking email. Here's the first email. Dear Boyle, I live in Melbourne too, and the strangest thing is happening to me. 3 years ago, I went on a mission of directed and intentional self-improvement, microdosing magic mushrooms as part of it. Okay, all right. So we know where we're at. We've got what seems to appear to be a young man who's trying to improve himself, and he's using psilocybin mushrooms, microdose. If you're microdosing, it doesn't do shit. But it has to be pointed out that mushrooms are involved here. Anyway, let's continue. There are many moving parts involved in this story, but it turns out that the abilities unknown to science are seriously possible. I'm on board, bruz. I am 110 on board. My vision is transmitted to another person and is being distributed without my consent. All right, my vision is being transmitted to another person and is being distributed without my consent. So you're transmitting it to someone and then it's being distributed without my consent. Does that mean they are also transmitting it, or it's going to like a hard drive somewhere, or I'm not too sure? And where's it being distributed to? Like, who can pick it up? These are questions that need to be answered. I need these questions answered. Anyway, let's continue. There is also what feels like entanglement that manifests itself as telepathy and mind reading with other people. I kid you not, the police have confirmed mind reading for me in person. They literally told me that it's happening. I think it's glorified. I think it's just glorified entanglement. If you believe me, reply, because I have some serious information for you. Well, for starters, like, my fucking first bit of advice for anyone experiencing mind reading or telepathy or any of that shit, don't go straight to the police and ask them. That's not the first thing to do. Just keep your telepathy and mind reading to yourself for a little while. Test it. Make sure you know what's going on. And then just fucking maybe drop it into a conversation, but just keep it secret. This is serious advice. Keep it secret for as long as you can. Drop it into a few conversations casually. And if people fucking seem like they're in tune and they're on board, how about you even telepathy it to them, and the people who pick up the message, they are the people to tell. But not everyone can pick up the message, so just drop it in casually, like, hey, fucking, I took mushies once and I could mind read. That's a good opener for telepathy, because everyone's sort of experienced that in some form on acid. A little bit of telepathy on shrooms as well. So that's a good way to go about it. And having said that, you've done a pretty good job, because out of all the people you could have fucking reached out to and sent an email to, any podcaster in the world, you probably hit the right one, to be honest with you, because I replied, I've had 3 telepathic experiences. I was actually thinking of one of them today. Nothing you say will shock me. So I have to give you full marks for that. Anyway, the next message I received from him was, I'm drafting a proper response. This is pretty big, but in the meantime, if you wish to retain the freedom to disclose information about this, do not entertain the idea of entering any binding agreements. It's hard to really understand what's going on there, but I definitely didn't enter any binding agreements, so thank God. All right, when was that? That was on the... This is almost a month later. He sent me that, and then a month later he sent me this. Is that right? Yeah, it took him almost a month to get this to me. What if I had signed a binding agreement in that time? All right, here's his third email. Hey, Boyles, sorry for the lag in responding. No worries, bros. This has been a hectic time. I've been in touch with a local member of parliament, an astrophysicist, and a prominent USA podcaster with huge reach. This has been going on, and I'm at the center of it since late 2021. The mind reading and telepathy situation is best understood by quantum entanglement. This leads to quantum communication and is verifiable by AI. The Facebook AI has already been exposed to it. All you need to do is type in telepathy to Facebook Meta AI. I haven't done that yet, but I will do it after this podcast. This has escalated to such a degree that the Victorian police are involved. I'm sure they are. I am sure they are involved. And it's becoming a massive cover-up. They have confirmed that mind reading is currently underway at the North Melbourne Police Station, an officer called Courtney. I am literally telepathically linked via entanglement such that quantum communication is occurring between me and several others. It presents as me being able to talk to myself and then hear it. And they can receive my train of thought, which presents as kind of reading. I had magic mushrooms. All right, we're back to the source. I had magic mushrooms one night while going through a period of my life of self-reflection and growth, and something occurred connecting my mind to another old man's mind. There are now many people involving themselves, sensationalizing their lives, trying to include themselves. There are now many of them and only one of me. This is all happening in real time and being bankrolled by a single international financial institution and local government here. I have been labeled a rapist and a murderer and other vile things to discredit me, all lies and slander. Since Vic police are involved, I would have a charge if that were the case. But instead, they just confirmed mind reading and fly helicopters over my apartment to ensure I am not being messed with, which is reassuring. You will be instantly contacted by authorities or a certain financial institution if you reveal these facts. So do so if you need to verify the authenticity of my claims. You will be offered to be paid out, but do not accept this so that you can continue to speak the truth. I will forward you some of the emails I've sent to others if you are interested. This is a massive, big deal. I am telepathic and people can mind read me. But I haven't commented to any of it and it's all out of control. I remember reading that the first time. This is only the second time. But the first time I read it, I was like, all right. I don't even know where to start here. I'm like, oh, you know, when you get that feeling, you're like, oh, like slightly overwhelmed and like unsure. So I just left it. I was like, all right, I'm just going to have to let that play out. I can't do much about that. I'm dealing with my own mind reading. I also think I'm telepathic. I'm just keeping it a little more low key. You know, I've got shit to deal with myself. I definitely haven't told the police. I won't be telling the police now either. But I was like, all right, I'm afraid I'm just going to have to let this one play out. So I just left it there. And then there was a immediate follow-up email. It said, you are the first person in Australia outside of law enforcement who I've told about this so far. I'm a big fan and know big money won't shut you up in the short term compared to the long-term story. So I have chosen you to give this info to. Bang on about it for a podcast. I swear you will be approached. There have been whistleblowers, but they always take the cash and keep quiet. Fucking give me some cash. No, I won't be taking any cash, bruz. No way, I'm keeping this fucking out there. I refuse cash. And then recently, like about a month ago, I got another email. So I just left it there. I'm like, there's only so much I can do. And when I say there's only so much I can do, I mean, all I can do is just keep putting out the podcast. That's it. So I just left it. I'm like, all right, I'm afraid you just have to fucking get through this one, bud. You have to do it yourself. And then, not long ago, I got a follow-up email that I also didn't reply to. And now I'm putting it all on a podcast, so I am replying to it. So it says, Boyle, do you remember me? Yes, I do. I was once telling you about telepathy and mind reading and how I created this weird situation once while high on mushrooms, asking the universe for some assistance. It has since gotten out of control and I'm being stalked. It's become a complete joke. I need to fill someone in who will do something hilarious with the info. Well, I hope this is hilarious enough for you. But if you have any further details about the situation, what's going on, who's reading minds, if you can fill me in any way, if you're still listening, I'll actually send you the link to this podcast and you listen to this and then you write me a long fucking email about what the fuck is going on. If the helicopters are still there, if the mind reading's still happening, what's happening with Vic Police. I want it all. And then I'll read out your reply on the podcast over the weekend or whenever you get back to me. But until then, I hope everything's good. Stay low key. Keep the telepathy and everything to yourself for the moment anyway. And thanks to the emails. I can't really I can't help you any more than read out your shit on the fucking podcast, all right? That's it. Anyway, that'll do for tonight. I'm actually looking forward to that fucking reply now. That'll do for tonight, and I'll see you the fuck later.